Hello, it's Cyn. I thought I would start off with a general message. I want to thank each and every one of you who are here and still here after the past few months of me posting and experimenting with my content. I want to expand and continue doing tarot and of course tie everything back to spirituality, but I want to somehow find a way to marry my love for fashion and style with spirituality. So that is exactly what I've been trying to do and finding my way on doing on this channel for the past few months. So for those of you who have been really confused as to why I posted some things and others I have not, I'm terribly sorry for the confusion, but it's really as simple as that. I've just been trying to find my own voice and create my own space on YouTube here for you all, and hopefully find those of you who belong to my tribe and understand and are looking for a place like this, for a way of expressing into this world the way I wish to see the world or have to see more of from the world. If you're new here, hi, nice to meet you. I'm Cyn. I'm a clothing designer turned mystic, but in fact the truth is I'm still a clothing designer. So actually I think the correct term would be I'm a fashion designer and mystic. I don't know if I'm going to continue doing the slogan or the, my little catchphrase of sister from another mister. I mean, I love it, but I'm getting more clear and focused on who I'm trying to help and the image that I have in my mind of what it is I'm trying to create into this reality, the 3D reality we are living in right now. Please do keep an open mind and be flexible with me as we continue down this journey together. If I were to have a new slogan right now or a new catchphrase, it would be for me to clarify my mission statement, and that is for me to say that I am Veruca Cyn. I am a fashion designer and mystic, and I'm here to empower those who consider themselves as the others. What the others may be, you might ask? Well, here's a definition. It's actually a philosophical statement founded by this man over here. And it basically, I would say it encapsulates people who feel marginalized, or they are the voices that are unheard. And I feel very strongly about carving out a path and speaking and representing and being that voice for you all, as I feel I am one of them as well. I am the other as well, the black sheep, the underdog, the person who is not mainstream, the alternative. So if after hearing all that and this rings true to you and resonates with you and it speaks to your soul, then I'm your girl and you have found the right place, and welcome. I cannot be more happier than to have you here. With that being said, we're going to go on to our pick a card reading today. So I'm going to keep an open mind because I set the intention today for my spirit guides, universe, and my deities to call into those of you who are meant to be in my soul tribe and my spirit tribe and meant to find me, and I'm the person that is meant to guide you in this lifetime along your journey of being the other and walking you through this journey of becoming the empowered person you are meant to be and that you deserve to be. So I'm not going to put a title as of right now, and I'm going to start channeling. I'm going to make piles and channel. I'm saying this out loud as well for my guides to hear. I'm sure they already know, but still. And by the time I finish this reading, it will become very evidently clear what the messages are, what the title is, and how I'm meant to portray this message to find you people. Okay. I've been hiding for far too long. I'm ready now. So here I am. I'm going to put on the screen right now 3 piles. Take your time to choose them. I'm hearing that you could choose more than one. My guides say that you can choose more than one. There might be some messages in some and the other that's meant for you. Of course, this is a general reading. So if you want a specific reading for you and for me to tap into your energy, you are more than welcome to book a reading down in the description box below. link to my website and my shop. So pause this video, choose your pile, and when you're ready, we will begin. All right, pile number 1. This is your reading. If it resonates with you, I would love for you to leave a comment down in the commentary section down below. Leave a like, help a girl out, or help your sister out. Join the family, subscribe, and this will help me grow my channel. And it will be immensely valuable for you to support me if my messages speak to you. So the card that flew out says, what lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us, by Henry S. Haskins. I don't know if you can see it, but I read it, so Haskins, Haskins, okay? I feel like pulling emoji cards out too. So this might be giving me a general vibe of how you've been feeling. That's what my guides want me to say. They want me to find out how you've been feeling. How has my pile ones been feeling? Oh, I'm hearing some sounds behind me. It says that you guys have been feeling rather devious and playful. I like it. I like it. I'm getting the vibe right away. I like it. Okay. 2 and 9, that equals 11, yeah? Manifestation time. Oh, are some of you guys into sex magic? Okay. Devious and playful. This is a good vibe though. You guys are in high spirits. Inspired. Playful. Mischievous. I hear the word unstoppable. So something has, I hear setting fire to your loins. That's a very weird way of putting it, but I feel like your sacral chakra energy, which is the creative energetic aspect of your sacral, you know, is being activated. So I'm hearing these are messages your higher self wants you to know, okay? Pile 1. You got right eye, wisdom, chokma. I hear that you're giving up on the fight between right and wrong. And I hear moral compass. So you must have been a very morally sound and virtuous person growing up, and you've always did your best to follow along the guidelines of what seems, I hear the word holy, what seems clean, what seems right. And the biggest irony is the people who have shamed you or the people who have pressured you to follow this path, they themselves are hypocrites. And I'm thinking exactly of the movie, there's a movie. Let me tag it in later. The movie is about this girl who goes to a Christianity camp. She learns to discern the difference between people's actions with the things they say. People seldomly mean what they say and say what they mean and do as they say and say as they do. That's what I'm hearing. And I feel like you're venturing off at this point where you're deciding to follow your own truth and in your heart and in your gut, intuitively knowing what is right and wrong, and you're going to discern for yourself, and you're going to allow yourself to just be happy. That's why you're feeling so devious, because you finally set free this part of you that has been repressed for a long time, because you've been trying to do your best to make other people happy. But now you want to make yourself happy, and you want to explore what it really means to accept all sides of yourselves. Instead of living your life by what other people deem as morally right or wrong, as long as it doesn't hurt anyone. And of course, you already know that. I feel in my heart you already know that. You want to express yourself, dress yourself, and carry yourself in a way you've never done before. And you want to try out new things and meet new people and see different places that you've never allowed, or listen to music, I hear, that you've never allowed yourself to before. And it's been very empowering, and you're feeling a little overwhelmed and lost, but hey, you found me, right? So welcome. I'm more than happy to have you. Wow, I feel really touched. This gives me confirmation that I'm on the right path, and I'm living my life purpose right now. So thank you for being here and finding me. And you want to grow. You want to grow, and you want some guidelines, and you want to understand how other people and other walks of life and how they conduct and go about finding their moral compass, so to speak, and how they have come to the conclusion of what is right and wrong for them. That's amazing. And my left leg is falling asleep. Okay. Okay, next we're going to read what your ancestors want to say to you, okay? Okay, your ancestors are starseeds. You are a descendant of a starseed. I hear Syrian, starseed. Mother Earth, feel loved and comforted. And elder, move beyond ancestral patterns. And then you got star ancestor, follow the voice of your soul. Ah, what did I say? Look. I love that these cards are matte, so it doesn't reflect off the camera as badly, off the light. So I'm hearing that ever since you were born into this world, you have felt nothing but dejected from the people around you and the world around you. Like, you just don't get it. I'm getting Adam and Eve vibes here, and you're questioning a lot about the origins of things. I don't mean for this reading to be controversial, but it's getting there, and it's spirit wants to talk to you, and that's what they're saying. I'm hearing you going from religious to spiritualist. You're going from, example, something from Christian to paganism. And pagan, the root of paganism means to follow down a spiritual path or organized spiritual path that is not recognized by the general masses as an organized or like a validated religion. Pagan was meant to be a derogative term, I think, on when you believe in something that's not like a hallmark belief, so to speak. You know, hallmark meaning it's accessible everywhere. It's divided and conquered in different parts of the world for a long time, and anyone who opposed it would be conformed and converted, so on and so forth. Let's not get into the really dark side of things, but I get that when you were born, you saw that the world seemed very ass backwards to you, and people never mean what they say and say what they mean and do what they say and say what they do. And when you would try to confront them about it, they would try to turn it on you and make you feel bad. And perhaps some of you who are here is a divine feminine by energy, or some of you are actually biologically like birthed as a biological female, and a lot of this was used against you for saying that you're weak, or you're the woman, so you're supposed to be more docile, or you're supposed to listen to the man. You're supposed to, and if for some of you guys, if you guys have been married and then divorced, when you were married, it would be like, oh, like the woman listens to the man is the household leader, the leader of the household and the head of the household, or something like that, right? And I feel like you're like, enough is enough. And your ancestors are saying, like, do you, like, you move beyond your ancestral patterns, the things that traditionally has been brought onto you and you question your whole life. It's time to really think about it and ask yourself, why are people so disrespectful? And then act like they're the ones who are right. Isn't that the definition of a narcissist? Or like somebody who gaslights you and is like a pathological liar, so to speak, you know? Follow the voice of your soul. So we're going to go into the reading, leading with this card, okay? So they want you to follow your inner voice, the voice inside your soul. Let's find out what that is, okay? What is the voice of their soul? Can you give us deeper insight on following the voice of their soul? You got Ophiuchus and serpents. The relationship between knowledge and ethics. Oh, I'm getting goosebumps. That resonates a lot with what we're talking about today. Canis Minor. Oh, I forgot to mention, this reading, along all readings in this video, is timeless. My guides want to say that. So if you hear this and you find me, this message is meant for you, especially if it resonates for you. So even if you find this message a few weeks later, a few days later, a few years later, and it resonates, welcome aboard. Okay. Second card is Canis Minor. Underdog, overlooked talent. What did I say? Underdog, overlooked talent, unglorified action. Okay. Let me keep pulling, okay? Before I speak. You got consequence of arrogance, vanity, and pride, and serendipitous meeting, shortcut, secret link. Okay. You might want to be, there's a word of warning here. There's a word of warning here. I know you're excited to be breaking free from this moral compass, but don't be so hasty that you might jump and fall into the hands of prey. What I mean by that is that there's a lot of people out there waiting and looking for people who seem lost or confused or a little bit too eager to do something, and they will capitalize on that and manipulate it. So Spirit wants to warn you here, as well as me want to warn you here, that don't be hasty on doing something just because your arrogance got the best of you, because you're like, I'm so fed up. But don't come from a place of spite. Don't be like, oh, you see this option and it's so opposite of whatever you've ever done, and it brings back a memory of like someone saying something really hurtful or doing something really hurtful to you, and you're like, you know what, I'm going to do it. Like, it's a different feeling from when something really calls to you and it speaks to you versus you choosing to do the opposite of everything that you've been taught. That does not necessarily mean it will bring you freedom. Sometimes it might even bring you more bondage, I hear. Sometimes it might even enrapture you in someone else's problems or an issue that's way beyond more than you can control, because you fell into a karmic trap involving other people and circumstances that you were not aware of, such as signing things or doing things that might compromise your privacy, not looking into the fine print of things, or looking into the terms of service or the agreement or consent of what goes on to, like the stipulations I hear of going into something. Like, example, if you're gonna go to like a sex club or like a BDSM club, or you're gonna go into a website, make sure to look at all the policies to make sure you agree with what it needs for you to comply with, and if it brings the same amount of safety and understanding that you're looking for when it comes to going down your path. Okay? Around this time, aside from me, there's going to be a handful of new people you're going to be meeting that have been feeling the same way as you. I feel like they may have also been people in your community who may have been following the same faith or maybe the same lifestyle as you, or maybe they've also been very quiet and afraid of listening to the inner voice, and because they've seen you start living your life and living your truth and stepping into who you are, they want to follow along as well, and this will help strengthen your understanding of knowledge and ethics. So the relationship between knowledge and ethics, I feel like you're going to be a lot more grounded, or a lot more, I heard learned, a lot more educated individual. A lot of the things that perhaps that you were taught in the past, you've never quite questioned. This has nothing to do with organized religion at this point. It's just as a whole. Like, you've never really been the type of person to ask or question things when people tell you a truth, or they state it as fact or truth. You've never been one to question it because you didn't want to cause issues, or you didn't want to cause problems or fights. You didn't want things to become tumultuous. But now you're, instead of confronting those people, what you're going to start doing is taking the initiative and the personal empowerment to start doing your own research. You're going to look into all the information that people has ever preached and projected and pushed and painted onto you, and you're looking into the facts, the cold hard facts about history, if there's any statistics, if there's any proof or pattern of behaviors that has been occurring in regarding to the topics that were taught and put onto you when you were growing up, and you're deciding for yourself whether or not you're starting to realize too, I hear that truths that have been said to you, you realize that they were said for the sake of manipulating you. And some of them might have been people you dated in the past who were trying to control you. And because they know you were like a virtuous person, I hear, like you want to do right by people, you never want to do the wrong thing, they would take that to their advantage to manipulate you and say something that they want, and then for the sake of you listening and not questioning, and just so they don't have to argue with you, they're like, oh, because so-and-so said so, or didn't you know that so-and-so, this is the case, so that's why you should do it. But really it's because they want you to do it, and you want to do right by the world, and you want to be a righteous person, that you fell into the trap of their manipulation. And I'm pretty sure at this point, this is probably what fuels you to be really angry, pile number one, and devious. So there's a side of you that has never really been expressed before, and it's bubbling up and it's coming to the surface, and it wants to be unleashed, but you have to be in control of it, in the sense that allow yourself to feel these emotions, but don't let these emotions blind you to the choices and decisions and dynamics, whether it is relationship, romantic or platonic. Don't let it blind you to the decisions you make or the type of dynamics that you agree to enter into, okay? Any final messages for pile number one? Ooh, Corona Borealis, triumph after sacrifice, new beginnings. Perfect. So you might have to really remove this crown, because when I'm looking at this crown, I realize there's hands holding it, putting it on your head. People want you to be a certain person in their life. People expect you to be a certain way, to uphold these social expectations and managing. It's like at some point in life when you make connections, when it's no longer becoming a healthy connection, you'll know it, because it will go from reciprocal to suddenly managing expectations, managing each other's expectations. So you would do things that's within what they expect or within reason of what they know about you. And if you do something that seems out of character, suddenly you have to explain yourself. That's when you know a relationship or a friendship dynamic or a connection has started to become, instead of expanding with you and helping encourage you grow, it's starting to restrict you and hold you back and pulling you into this, conforming into this mold of what they perceive you to be. And then instead of just being observed and seen for who you are and growing as an individual and finding yourself in this world, You find yourself having to exert more energy to justify and explain who you are and your intentions, or why you do what you want to do, or why you behave the way you want to behave, even though it is not hurting the other person. That's how you know you'll have to start letting go of these connections, or at least having a good, healthy space from them, okay? And so it's for you to remove that crown, for you to remove that role from their life, for you to remove yourself from the expectation of other people, of who they think you are, or who they think you should be for them in their life, and who they think you should be as a whole, okay? So that will require some form of sacrifice. What is that saying about like a leopard like show their spots, or something showing their true spots? That's what I'm hearing for you. Like, you're letting your true colors show, and you're not afraid to let your nails come out, your claws come out anymore, because you're done being the nice person. You're done being the nice girl. Like, you're showing your true colors. When people have disrespected you for far too long, you're letting them know you don't like it. And if they have a problem with that, they can get lost. So I'm so proud of you, Pile Number One. This is amazing. I certainly hope that this message resonated with you, and it has brought you some form of comfort. And of course, if you like my vibe, be sure to subscribe. I don't even know if I want to say that anymore. If you are enjoying your time here and you want to see more of me and the messages and guidance I have for you, then be sure to subscribe, like, and make sure to hit the notification bell to make sure you don't miss any of my videos in the future, okay? With that being said, if you're looking for a reading, or you want to shop for my clothes or other future possible designs that I'm going to be putting, it's all in my description box. Go check out my website. Until then, I appreciate you so much. I love you, and I'll see you in the next video. Hello, Pile Number Two. Let's get on to your reading, shall we? Pile Number Two. What are the affirmations for you? Oh, you got follow your inner moonlight. Allen Ginsberg. Follow your inner moonlight. Okay. I feel like before I go into looking into more cards, immediately the messages I'm getting for you, Pile Number Two, is that to embrace your shadow side and to see that there is truth that lies in your dark side. There are things that you repress and things that you have not been ready to look at for a long time. But if you've been having questions that have been running around in your head for many years, and you can't seem to come to a conclusion or understand it, and it brings you a lot of anxiety and loss of sleep throughout the nights, I literally hear for you, Pile Number Two, that your answer lies in your question. So the shadows that you have been unwilling to look at actually holds the answers and truths to the solutions and understanding and forgiveness and the way out that you've been looking for so long. So let's continue to dive into what that means for you, okay? We're gonna go into these emoji cards, and I'm gonna see how you've been feeling lately. This will also give you more confirmation of what kind of moods you've been dealing with and how you've been feeling, for you to identify yourself in this reading. Oh, that's a lot of cards. Okay, do I want them? They say yes. You've been a cool cat. Cool as a cucumber. Oh, but there's a little bit of a facade here. To be perfect and studious and always happy-go-lucky. You always have to put up an act. Oh no. See, the funny thing is, behind these cards, the card backings is like crying emoji. Laughing so hard they're crying. But I feel like underneath all that smile and laughter, there's tears. So you're unwilling to drop down your walls because there's expectations of you to Democrat? That's what I'm hearing. maybe you're of a political stature, or you work in a place that has great political influence, pile 2, and you can't readily allow yourself to just be open like that because there will be consequences, I hear. But it's okay. You don't have to. You don't have to in order to follow your inner moonlight, in order for you to face your shadow sides. You don't have to change yourself so drastically to be more honest to yourself. You know what I mean? Jelly bean. Let's continue, okay? I'm going to help you through this. I got you. What are the messages that your higher self has for you? Remiel, Angel of Visions. And there's a crescent moon on their forehead again, or their forehead, not again, but I said again because I said moonlight. And then look. Has a moon. And then there's a triangle pointing down, so it's water element, the water alchemy symbol, which stands for the feminine. All of this points to me, okay, the moon, water, the triangle, divine feminine alchemical symbol, all comes down to being in touch with your emotions, pile number 2. So you can put on a facade or put on a front or whatever, however you want the world to portray you, if it serves you and it protects you and is great for the greater good. But you can have a personal relationship with yourself on the inside without anyone else around, where you're honest with yourself about how you feel about things. And through this honesty of your innermost feelings and being in tune with your sensitivity, you can begin to heal that. And then in return, you'll be actually in more control, pile number 2, of the way you present yourself, and you have more clarity and greater insight and awareness to those around you who are not being genuine, and if they themselves are putting on a facade too. Because it takes one to know one for you to recognize yourself in them, right? So through this healing, if you are a secret spy, pile number 2, or like a secret agent, secret service, someone who does really high important work to protect others, it is very crucial for you to be alert and as aware as possible at all times, and to know and spot signs and red flags from a mile away. And doing some of this inner healing in your own time, of course. Don't overwhelm yourself and don't overcomplicate it, and don't stress yourself out. But within looking into your shadows and things that you found hard in your past, it will bring clarity and insight to you in a way that you've never before realized. And you'll have a better understanding of yourself moving forward. Therefore, you'll have a better understanding of the world moving forward as well. And it will actually end up helping you do a better job of what you are meant to do this lifetime: to protect, to serve, to provide, as a guard, as intelligence, like I hear like intellectual spy or something, to do important things to protect this earth, okay? That's what I'm hearing. Okay, let's go on to the messages from your ancestors, okay? What does your ancestors have to say about this pile number 2? 2 from their ancestors, spirit guide. Guardian angel, you are not alone. You're protected. They see you and they follow you and they watch over you. That's good. You're guided, you're guarded. You are protected. Any other messages? You're protected in your work and what you are meant to do here. So an example is, I'm getting goosebumps. If some of you guys are like anonymous, you know anonymous, people who don't reveal their identity, but they're here to protect the higher good, or you're here as like an agent, or you represent a government body, you do things that help keep the peace, just know that your guardian angels, your ancestors, are here to help guide you with your mission and to do everything for the highest of humanity. Okay, this reading is getting hella deep. Okay, next message. Protection guardian, drop your shields. Because you are so protected, you don't have to hold the shields up to yourself, between you and yourself. This dropping of shields is dropping the shield, dropping this mask of who you need to be to yourself. Not to others, but to yourself. To have that sort of honest, innermost, deep connection with yourself is what's going to help you be able to see. This is like the hand of Fatima, the evil eye, to be able to see the intentions of others even more clearly than you already do, pile number 2. I'm rhyming so much. I'm like a freaking Robert Munch book. Third card says, Stargazer, set your sights higher. Okay, so this is going to lead beautifully into my tarot now. We're going to find out for you, pile number 2, what sort of sights you need to set your sight on to expand yourself and to see the bigger picture. Okay? What do they need to do to set their sights higher? What sort of sights do they need to focus on? And what do you guys mean by setting your sights higher? What is it that you want pile number 2 to set their sights on, to prioritize and focus on, refocus on, to raise their standards and expectations? I hear, don't be so hard on yourself. You're doing wonderfully. Okay, pile number 2, you got exchange of energy, consumption, quasar. Oof, look, this is a image of a man who slaughtered a deer. So this is for some of you. Some of you have been practicing divination through sacrificial ways, whether that mean sacrificing a small animal or a chicken or some sort of life form to gain that power and energy to get insight on something. And it has helped you to an extent, but it's also left a stain, I hear, in your spiritual records. So you feel guilty about this. Like, you feel guilty about this, and there must have been a strong need that you had to do this at some point, because it was like a matter of like the greater good. Like, it's either you do that or more lives or more danger would be coming to those that you weren't able to save. And it's ironic that you would be put in a situation like that. It's like there's the blend between right and wrong and good and evil. You know, we're going to go very contrasting here. The yin-yang compass here for the right thing to do is very hard in your life, pile number 2. And I totally empathize with that. I can feel your pain and feel sometimes it's not so clear. Sometimes it blurs, and you need to remain calm and to keep the faith, I hear, that people and lives that you're trying to protect and save, sometimes you have to do something like that. And you did that in the past. Okay, so they're mentioning, your guides and my guides are mentioning now that you no longer need to do this moving forward, because they want you to set your sights higher. So for you to have for you to be more connected to source in a way that you don't need to do that anymore. You don't need to depend on that anymore, because before, the reason why you did that before is because you need that energy to give you that extra boost to find out the best way to go about protecting said so on and so forth. But the reason why you need that boost is because you're coming from a low vibration and a lower state of fear, which of course represses your intuition and your feminine state of being, which is the state of feeling, the emotions, the sensitivity, divine feminine, yeah? Water, the moon, to be in touch with your emotions, your feelings, how things make you feel and how things make you react and respond. And you lacked that because you were somewhat emotionally calloused from all the work you've done, that when there was more pressure on you during a certain time in your life that you needed to resort to that. But Your guides and my guides are saying that you don't need to do that if you set your sights higher. If you allow yourself to tap more into your inner feminine energy and to feel deeper into yourself, you will release a lot of these hard burdens and face these shadows and find forgiveness within yourself, and forgiveness to the things that you found really hard to forgive and unforgivable actually from others as well as yourself. When you release these energies, your heart will expand, and so will your mind and your intuition, and therefore it will allow you to be able to help from a bigger perspective. And there's like a telescope, right? You can see further away. You have clearer vision because you don't have these shadows and fears and pains haunting you from your past, obstructing your way. Do you understand? So is there any more messages from that? Oh yes, beautiful. Sun, rebirth, illumination, visualization. Look at this. You can change your ways and you can still serve your purpose and walk down your path without hurting anything anymore. Yes, and when you face your shadows, what do? You emanate light. You shed light into those aspects that you were so afraid to face. But when you shed light into it, you'll see it for what it really is. And it's actually more often than not, the fears of how we think something is in our life are bigger monster shadows than what they really appear to be. Sometimes some things are actually really heavy and hard to face, but it's still easier to face the actual truth than be lost in the fear and the figment of the imagination of the possibilities of how big this truth can actually be, which in that case, it's even more endless and even more terrifying and intimidating because you don't have tangibly what you're facing, if that makes sense. To not fall into the illusionment of fear. Okay, what's the last card? Cetus. Underlying emotional issue, self-doubt, fear. Oh my goodness, I can't make this stuff up. Okay, I think that wraps this up. That's perfectly. When you shed light, you'll know exactly what you're facing. You don't know if this monster is like this big or bigger, but because you know what you're facing, you know how to go forward with it. You can begin to heal. You can begin to embrace and realize you're not trying to pretend to come across as a cool cucumber cat who has a facade that you are like a of regal behavior, intellectual and fun-loving. These aspects are you. They are a part of you. And these are aspects you can safely portray to the external world around you in a way that will continue helping protect others around you and for you to continue doing the job you need to do and fulfill the role that you have chosen to fulfill. But the other half of you, the part that is private and secret, that only you can have a relationship with yourself and it's not for anyone to know and see. When you begin to face that and heal that and just acknowledge and hold space of how you feel moving forward, you will be able to help in a bigger way than you have ever done in your life. Okay, pile number 2. That being said, I appreciate you so much. I certainly hope that this message resonated with you and spoke to you. I know that your line of work is very private, so you don't even have to go. Chances are you're probably using an anonymous account, so by any means, if it's anonymous and you won't be traced back, be sure to give a like, thumbs up. I don't know, even leave a smile emoji or something. Just support your girl, okay? I would greatly appreciate it. And it's an absolute pleasure to be able to read and to provide you some information and insight. Thank you so much for your time and allowing for me to tap into your energy. And I hope to see you in a future video if you come and subscribe. Hi there, pile 3. Let's go on to your reading, shall we? So I'm going to start with pulling your affirmations. To achieve greatness, start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can. Arthur Ashe. Well, that gave me goosebumps. Pile number 3. I feel like you came here to start on a venture of becoming your true self, as well as well as building a dream. Like you have a dream you want to pursue. Now what that dream is, we will find out. Let's pull out your emoji cards and see what moods you have been in, how you've been feeling lately. That's how you know this reading is for you. Pile 3's mood. Okay. Silly. Feeling a bit silly. Oh no. And anxious, silly, and sick? Oh, you've made yourself sick. You're so sick. You're so sick of your silliness. Like the silliness of like anxiety, your silly thoughts, putting yourself down, feeling like you're ridiculous. All of these things are just giving you anxiety. You've been getting cold feet. I don't think that the term is cold turkey or anything, right? I think it's cold feet. Okay, so you've been getting cold feet. Okay. Let's see messages from your higher self. Messages from your higher self. Material, angel of rain. Oh, you've been crying a lot. You've been really anxious and afraid. A lot of self-deprecating thoughts, pile number 3. You're so tired of it though. I literally hear that you're tired of not seeing your own worth in your light. You want to step into the... See, I'm stuttering. It's like you're self-doubting the things you say, and you worry the things you say will come across wrong. So you're so tired of being disempowered that you want to forego all of that and step into who you really are. But you're also like stressed out about what you need and all the things you need to prepare, which ties back to the very first affirmation card, right? What are the messages from your ancestors? Heart guardian, love and let yourself be loved. I don't think I need to say any more than that. Oh, these are from my ancestors card. I grabbed the wrong one. So I guess your ancestors really want to talk to you first. Okay, so what else does your ancestors want to say to you? Oh, a lot of cards flew out. Sun. Enjoy success and happiness. Okay, good. Spring. See your seeds grow. So right now is winter time. Spring is around the corner, right? Once winter is done, it's going to become spring. So plant your seeds now. Whatever it is you need to do, you want to do, begin now, okay? And then it will start growing fruition as you continue along the path. High Priestess. Intend and create. Okay. Those of you who chose pile number 3, you're definitely here to want to bring something forth into the world and you're hesitant. Sage, be devoted and committed. Don't give up on yourself, okay? Hunter, track down your fears and desires. Ooh, okay. I'm gonna pull messages from your higher self. Wow, pile 3, you got me in all sorts of moods right now. Okay, let me shuffle. It's like you're not really present. You should do more grounding, pile number 3. You're like so in your head that you're not paying attention to what you're doing, and then you make a mistake and then you feel more stupid about it. Okay, you got that null emptiness. Uriel, angel of flame. I feel like there are some traumas that you might have to overcome, pile number 3, because you have moments of extreme degradation. Like you don't believe in yourself. You feel like you're worthless. You might even have like trigger warning. You might even have suicidal tendencies at times, pile 3. But you feel such a burning desire that is wrong, and that's not true. The things that have been imposed on you are lies. And yes, those are lies. Whatever that happened in your lifetime that caused you to feel this way, okay? So let's see. Usually I have my cards from the ancestors direct into this. So let's refer back to your ancestors cards. Hunt down your fears and desires, okay? Love and let yourself be loved. I feel like there's two things you need to do here. I feel like you're falling into a spiritual awakening because 5 and 2 equals 7, and 7 is a number of spirituality. So I think you're coming to awakening, hence which is how you found me. Welcome. And you're trying to find different ways of overcoming your fears and barriers. So there's two things I think you should do, okay, pile number 3. First, you need to go get therapy, heal your traumas, and have someone to talk to about this stuff so you can discern and clarify the things between your head and your heart space, the things that people have told you that are true and not true. And you can sift it away so you can pay attention and focus on the truth of who you are, and discard and let go of the things that are not useful to you from people who have been projecting onto you and telling you false lies about yourself, okay? The second thing that you need to do, which is what I'm going to give you insight about, is track down your fears and desires. We're going to talk about that because the first half, love and let yourself be loved, this needs to be helped by a professional therapist. By the way that you're sounding and the fact that you have suicidal tendencies, this is actually like you have to have serious professional help, in the sense, when I say serious, I don't mean as in like, oh, you have some serious issues. That's not what I meant. What I meant is you need someone who's serious and professional, who's authorized to be able to help people with severe, extreme traumas in your lifetime. That's why I'm energetically picking up, is you've been through a lot, and normal everyday people don't have experiences to how they overcome with it. Most times people who have had experiences similar to yours that have not gone through therapeutic help have not really resolved their issues. What they've really found is a way to cope with it, and more often than not the way that they've been coping with it is probably some sort of substance abuse or some sort of codependency to a connection, relationship, or social dynamic. So it's not really healed per se, it's just been procrastinated, the healing that is. So let's go into track down your fears and desires, okay? Because there's something you want to do here, and we're going to look into that because that's something I can definitely provide more insight on. The first half, however, is not my place to speak because there's things that a therapist can do that a spiritual advisor does not really touch upon, you know. They can. I'm pretty sure they can. And I'm pretty sure I can. But it's literally reaching beyond my capability, reaching beyond my limitations of what I'm drawn to do here. You know what I mean? I'm here to guide those who feel like the others and who are finding a voice and who are looking to associate with a voice that's very similar to mine. But what you're going through, pile number 3, is beyond that. You've been so hurt that you're afraid to be associated with the other as the other. You're not ready to step out as someone who represents the other yet, not quite yet. You need that healing. What is the message for pile number 3 and how we can track down their fears and desires to start this business endeavor they have in mind here? Tell me about this. I'm getting that you guys, pile number 3, you guys might be in a current situation where you're in a household that is toxic or abusive, or I hear domestic relationship, domestic violence, domestic abuse. So if you're living in an environment that is unsafe for you, it may not be the best inclination to... Okay, I get it now. You're debating on filing a lawsuit, pile number 3. You do have dreams and desires, but it's really heavily tied to your first circumstance, which has to do with you being so sick of feeling silly and anxious, and you don't know how to get out of this situation. But I think you do, but you're afraid. You're afraid to ask for help. You don't know how to get out of it. And the first message that came to me is to achieve greatness, start where you are, use what you have, do what you can, right? Reach out to therapists, go to helplines, look into government support and funding, especially if you're in a current domestic abusive circumstance or someone has held you captive. There's such thing as financial abuse too, you know, that also counts as abuse. Financial abuse is like when someone has strapped you down and limited your freedom and your spending expenses and basically put you in a circumstance where you can't really do much because your expenses are being controlled by them, right? That's a way to control someone. So the cards that came out is the Sun, rebirth, illumination, visualization, Camelopardalis, seeing the big picture, gaining perspective, right? So the fact that you feel so tired and sick of your circumstances, you have to really think about how much longer can you endure this. Are there relatives and friends or families or even acquaintances in which you can stay at? Could you go back? I hear, can you fly back to your family and live with them? Because in the long run, do you really see that anything good can come of this? I think there's a part of you that's the wounded empath that is hoping that this person will forgive you. Will forgive you. So they're making it like it's your fault, but really more like you're seeing them as like this honest savior person when they're really controlling and manipulative and making you not understand the truth. But deep down in your heart, you don't feel good about this. Wow, pile number 3, this is a lot. So what is the messages, Spirit Guide, Universe, for pile number 3? The fact that you were led here to hear this means you're really at, I hear, dead end. You feel really stuck. Take a moment, check out my website. Go look in the resources section. I'm going to link it down beside your pile, okay? There are helplines and crisis helplines and resources that you can go to. I'm still developing things for like domestic abuse and information about that. I have some that are international and some that are from different regions and countries like Canada or America. So do your research and take your time to look at this up, okay? Even if it means going to a library or going to Starbucks or something, okay? So you could be away from the home while looking up information like this. Okay. Look at this. Powerful ally to assist using personal leverage, Aquila. And Wheel of Fortune, from humble beginnings to true potential, Pegasus. So I have a feeling, pile number 3, I'm going to call it, okay? You find me at the lowest point in your life. You take my advice. You go and get yourself help. You go and you get yourself out of there, right? You start where you are, use what you have and do what you can. And then when you get into a place of emotional, mental freedom, you start living your true life and you start pursuing your path. You start following your heart's desire and stay committed and devoted to your calling, whatever that business idea is. Maybe you might become an advocate or someone who has resources to help empower women who have been in domesticated abuse and violence or circumstances like that, or even for like LGBT. And you're going to come back a very successful person and you're going to let me know that. Like, I have that feeling. Or at least you're going to be coming back and you're going to be listening. You're going to be listening as you grow. You are like a lotus, right? A lotus that blossoms from the mud. Who would have thought such a swamp-like, ugly climate where nothing healthy seems to come out from it? A beautiful, blooming lotus. That is you. You're going to take all the supposed disgusting things out of the compost and things that fall into the swamp and die, and you're going to transmute that darkness and that energy, and you're going to turn it into something beautiful. And you're going to use it to help the world, pile number 3. Now I understand why you were drawn to this message, why you were pulled to me. Because at the beginning, the message was so dark. It was so heavy, and you were crying a lot. And I was wondering, like, is this like pile 3, did they get lost and they just stumbled onto my channel by accident and like you're not really the other? No, you are the other, just not right now, but you soon will be once you are ready. Okay, I'm gonna ask Spirit for a few last messages for you, pile number 3. You will be fine. You'll be fine. Just make sure you believe in yourself and you follow your heart. Even if other people say whatever and it's supposed to be right or wrong, if you feel sad and hurt and bad deep down inside, even though what they say is for your own good, or they claim that they love you and they're doing it for your own good and your benefit, if it feels bad, you don't have to listen to it. You don't have to be friends with anyone you don't want to be. You don't have to talk to anyone you don't have to. In fact, being by yourself is more peaceful than dealing with someone who you don't even know is telling you the truth or trying to make you believe that you're wrong. No, anyone who loves you and respects you will never invalidate and make you feel like you're crazy. They will never make you question your own reality and sanity, ever. They will try their best to understand. And at worst case, like the most extreme is suggest that you should go get therapeutic help like I did. They would never dismiss and disqualify how you feel. Ever, okay? That is a straight, clear red flag indicator that that's not the right person, relationship, friend, co-worker. I hear even entity. If you're working with a guide or a source and you're going into magic for another spraying off. Now it's splaying off into another message. Some of you who chose pile number 3, if you've been working with an entity or a guide or a deity that you feel no longer is you've outgrown or it doesn't suit you anymore, you should go and let me find information, because you want to cut ties with that. It's okay to outgrow. There's different stages and levels. Okay, so let's see what kind of messages your spirit guides and my spirit guides have to say about that. Persevering against incredible odds, survival. So you are protected, okay, Hydra. As long as you love, you follow love, okay? And you bask in the feeling more often than not, in feelings of love. Focus on the feeling you have for others, the love you feel for others, the love and admiration you feel for your pet, for your friends, for life. The more you bask in that feeling of love, the more protected you will become. This woman has a bubble around her and the darkness is trying to like swallow her up in a wrath, right? So if you have accidentally or you have made a wrong decision to involve yourself in really dark energies or in working with spirits who claimed they were of love and light but end up being like really dark and had ulterior motives and gaslit you because perhaps you didn't have the discernment and you didn't heal properly before you went into dabbling deeper into spirituality and you didn't protect yourself. Focus on feelings of love and light. Do things that bring you joy, things that make you laugh and smile from the inside. Things that make you feel safe, things that make you feel happy, and things that bring you joy. Watch videos, eat food, do things that make you feel good. And the more often you feel good and the more often you feel love, the harder it is for these feelings and this heaviness and the wrath to take hold of you. And eventually you will be very protected and safe and you'll be able to leave. You'll be able to attract new people that can help you with this. Any other messages? This also applies for the first person in the first group in pile number 3 too, the one that is in a domestic situation. You don't have to outrightly laugh and be obnoxiously happy. Just as long as the inside you feel it, things will start shifting. You have to start holding space for yourself, creating that light and that safe space for yourself. On the inside, you feel it and it'll start expanding around you and it'll allow for new energy and change and opportunities to come into your life. And as soon as you spot it and you see it, grab hold of it and see that as a way out, okay? That's what I'm hearing. I'm channeling that right now, speaking so fast. Monoceros, allure, purity, confidence, appreciation for another. Yeah, that reinforces what I just said. Moon, secrets, mystery cycles. Yeah, so there was a lot of sun at the beginning. See, look, sun here. And now there's talks about the moon and the secrets and wrath. Right? I feel like you've been staying in a state of lower vibration for such a long time, you forgot what it feels to feel joy. And so when you begin to set the intention of seeking, okay, the intention, there's a card right here I pulled out. it says, intend and create. You have to seek out this feeling, seek out opportunities and media and sources and experiences that helps you create these feelings of inspiration, create these feelings of joy and love and passion and excitement and happiness and love. Then you will start unraveling and loosening yourself up from whatever it is that you don't want to take hold of you anymore. So for the spiritual aspect, because I know the one that's in an actual situation with other people, there's resources that they can reach out to and like opportunities that they can take. Now for the second half, for the spiritual half, what is the messages, spirit guides? Intensity, passion, fearless initiative. You have to realize, I'm hearing, nothing is more powerful than the purity of your soul. Nothing can control you unless you give power away to it. People, places, things, circumstances will always want you to believe that you're weaker than you are. And when you believe that, you will, I hear, politely obey. And they will have conquered your actions and conquered your mind. So the very first thing you need to start doing for the spiritual pile, for pile number 3, is to start taking back your personal power, okay? By believing passionately, intensely, and fearlessly in yourself. Trust in yourself. And when you feel bad, how someone else makes you feel, trust in that feeling. Just know to step away from it if it doesn't feel right. Don't do it if you don't want to do it, if it doesn't feel good. And just follow what you feel is right for you, okay? Of course, as long as everything you do doesn't hurt other people and it's only to help yourself, so by all means, follow that, okay? And that's how you can begin freeing yourself from this. And I know because you've already been, I'm hearing from Spirit now, because you're already dabbling into spirituality and doing things like this, it's not like you don't know how to get out of it, so to speak. Like you have the tools in your toolbox to release yourself, but you just haven't been able to because psychologically and emotionally you have been binded and temporarily confused with where you need to put your energy and focus on. You've been really drained from the circumstance, pile number 3. So yeah, I certainly hope that reading resonated. That took me down a whole friggin' roller coaster of something I didn't see, but I'm glad we got through it. That was a lot, and I'm glad that we found some sort of solution. And I feel like those of you here for pile number 3, you guys are spiritual warriors for sure. And I am so grateful and thankful to have you here with me. And by all means, feel free to subscribe and come join the family and the community. Like this video, leave any commentary if it resonates with you. Anything to support and help me grow my channel and with the intentions I'm setting forth moving forward. With that being said, if you want a personalized reading, okay, personalized reading on top of getting those help, okay, and doing your work, you can reach me in the description box below. All the resources and information there is there. That being said, I appreciate and love you so much. Thank you for letting me help you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.